Getting ready for the postseason. Welcome to another edition of the All-22 as we go over 5 plays from that playoff clinching victory the Packers had against the Chicago Bears. Any overall thoughts you had about this game going into the 5 plays we're about to look at, you?
Jordan Love probably played his best game of the year. Offense really clicking, defense. I mean, our big fear was that Chicago was able the threat to score a lot of points, which they didn't. The only surprising thing to me was, as well as the offense played, they only got 17 points out of it. But if they're saving it for the playoff game, then I'm totally fine with it.
Let's go ahead and start and take a look at the 5 plays we have this week, Chewy, in the All-22. So we're going to start with the run play. We've been taking a look at a lot more run plays as of late, and this is a good run by Aaron Jones. Ends up being a 14-yard run that's keyed by your guy, Tucker Kraft, right here. So you've got DeGuara going in motion, but there's a good block and kind of what we were talking about, running across the formation, and he ends up getting a good block. I want to know your thoughts here. Again, I slowed it down just a little bit so we're not looking at it at full speed here, but a pretty good block here that springs Aaron Jones.
It is. It's just a simple trap play where he's coming across the line of scrimmage. Does a nice job adjusting, Gabe. If you saw that guy flash in front of him, watch the
I think you'll see it a little bit clearer here.
But he had the presence to know that the guy's taking himself out of the play to bypass him. And move on to the guy he's supposed to block. I mean, most guys would see that flash and then block him. Now, if he does that, the guy he's supposed to block comes up and makes the play. So it's very good awareness by him. And he springs the run loose, and good eyes by Aaron Jones. That's just, for a young kid, that's a hell of a job.
I mean, I really like what he does here. Just one last note here on Tucker Kraft. The way he kind of takes a full step towards that guy and then runs past him. So it's almost like he sets him up to take him out of the play even more, a little full step there, and then he moves on. And 90 has just got no chance.
And that's where young guys struggle because, Gabe, you've heard me say the term "don't see ghosts," right? Mm-hmm. That would be a ghost flashed in front of your face. And you see how things have to happen in like seconds. I mean, that's a second he has to make a decision saying, all right, this guy's slanting. He's taking himself out of the play for me. I'm going to let him go, bypass him, and go on to the next level, which he did a great job at. And so finishing the block.
Yeah, there's a couple of throws here I want to take a look at kind of towards the second half of this game. And it begins with this one. I don't know if I've seen Jordan Love take this shot. I know it's one that Tony Romo was talking about when it happened, and I know it was highlighted by Matt LaFleur at the end of the game as well. So just kind of a really good throw here from Jordan Love. See if I don't know if this is the play or not. Okay, so yeah, really good throw here by Jordan Love. Starts with Reed coming in motion, and Reed ends up being the target here against what looks like a cover 2.
It's a really good throw by Jordan. Reed's route is a little sloppy. He gets hung up on that corner a little too much. Mm-hmm. This is just straight cover 2 where the corner defender is responsible for the flat. So it kind of works out by slowing him up because now it created spacing between the safety and the corner. So if you look at this, just look at this, Gabe, if he got a free release, right, and he's running essentially a go route, he would have crawled up on the safety. Safety might have been able to make the play. 2 things, his release has to be better. Now, I would tell him, Gabe, it's okay to slip that corner. And what I mean by slip that corner is come inside of him. But when you come inside of him, I would have gave him a freer release. You have to get back wide because his spacing there is 5 yards from the sideline. So it's a little bit of a garbage play that turned out, and I would say most of the credit goes to obviously the offensive line because he had time to throw the ball. But Jordan Love,
I mean, that's just especially from this angle. I love the way that throw looked.
That's just a great throw by Jordan. Jordan's responsible for 90% of that play. But you know what? That happens in games. And it turned out to be a big play. big play in the game.
So later in this drive, this ends up not being a catch as it was overturned, but it ends up, I think, being one of the better throws that Jordan Love made, maybe even in the season, certainly in the game. But this was a great throw, I thought, to kind of Bo Melton. He goes up, he checks the play, and there's when we get to the tighter angle, and you can kind of see the tight window we had to operate in. Just puts it right where it needed to be. Obviously, initially it was ruled incomplete, then ruled a touchdown, and then overturned then on replay after they called it a touchdown. But especially from this angle, Chew, I love the angle of the throw. And you just kind of see when we talk about Jordan Love's accuracy, like this ball is only in one spot where his guy can go get it in a tight window.
Now, okay, two things. He wasn't the primary. You could see Jordan wanted to go to the left side with it, but he really had nothing there. The only things condense once you get into the red zone. So what I would tell Bo Melton here is, okay, he's not going to come to you immediately. So kind of slow play that thing. Slow play it, I mean, maybe take it wide, slow your route down, more of a backdoor basketball cut, because when he brings it in that far, he's bringing in the safety into play, okay? So knowing that you're the third or fourth read, you can really slow play that thing. And the ball, ideally, Gabe, would want to be on the top, on the B side, closest to the sideline, just to keep it away from that safety. I mean, if Jordan makes a little bit of an errant throw, there's a possibility of a pick there. But that is, unfortunately, it wasn't a touchdown because he bobbled it. But I mean, it's nitpicking. But in that instance, if I'm coaching Melton, I'm like, slow play it a little bit, because he has to look to the second read and then come back to you. And things condense when you get into the red zone. You have to buy a little more time. That's when I talk about the clock in your head, Gabe. You know, I always say you got to have a clock in your head. This is an instance where Melton has to have a clock in his head.
Yeah, and again, I think it just kind of shows the growth that we've seen out of Jordan Love this season. So this last one I want to take a look at here, Chew, is it's a 3rd and 7 late in the game. And this is kind of, again, the growth of everybody being able to, have the trust to throw the ball, and then Tucker Kraft ends up being the one to make this play to pick up a big first down for the Packers to try to help salt the game away.
Okay. I'm just looking at coverage here, Gabe. So go back to the beginning, because right here, they're showing what we'd call force guy. Okay, force guy is the safety up, kind of in a little bit of a threatening position, and then drops back into what I would say cover 2. And then let me just look at the route here.
So he chips,
Protection
releases.
is solid. Protection's very good. That's just good spatial. So at that point in time, when he starts to move in the pocket, Gabe, the route's done. It's done because the timing. So now it's just kind of finding a hole. And just a great job by Kraft here. He's just primarily a check down and then just sees open space in a hole. That's just a scrambling. So when it gets to the point the route has totally broken down, it's really, our rule was the deep guy goes deeper, mid-level guy comes back to the ball, and your third level, your check down or whatever, just finds an open spot. Great job by both of them. The play kind of breaks down, and it winds up turning into a big play.
Didn't have one of these last week, but just a little, going back down memory lane here, Chew, as this was the era, little grainier footage here, but this was your era's first playoff win in Detroit. You see the time left on the clock, 1:04. Brett Favre with just an unbelievable throw. Sterling Sharp, wide open, touchdown. You guys beat the Lions.
Just a great, that's Brett Favre at his best. And I like, someone asked him the question after the game. The question was, Brett, why'd you throw that ball? You know what his answer was? Because I can. That's just the way Brett approached things. I mean, we're starting to see a little snippet of Jordan Love kind of being kind of a mix between Aaron Rodgers and Brett. He's got a little gunslinger, because some of those throws against the Bears, a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't have thrown that. It's nice to see that he's gaining confidence, and they're going to need more of that if they're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Hopefully we have a fun one next week as the Packers do take on the Cowboys. Chew, always appreciate it. Looking forward to next week, man.
All right, buddy.
This has been another edition of All 22.